wanted to pop in really quick and let you know of a bonus video that we have for this series. I am super excited at the amazing knowledge, insight, and inspiration you'll get from all of our episodes this month. But I also wanted to provide a bonus video to help you actually implement what our amazing experts are sharing with you. To walk with you step by step in how to create intention, clarity, and a plan to have a successful new year. So stay tuned to the end of this episode so you can find out how to access our bonus video. Hello and welcome to Oversight Global's A New Year, A New You series, where all December long we are closing out the year with clarity, intention, and inspiration for the new year. My name is Angelique Kapoor. I'm your series host as well as the founder of Oversight Global. We are an organization that addresses the consciousness crisis in the world by educating and empowering leaders to be aware of and strive to fulfill their fullest potential and uniquely contribute to the world. Today, I am super excited to welcome our guest, Laura Kirtley. Laura is a NHS transformation lead and founder of Time to Thrive with Laura, a wonderful Facebook community of people using positive change tools, mindset strategies, and techniques to get more of what matters to them in life. As a lifelong lover of positive change and the wonderful impact it can have, Laura is passionate about supporting and empowering people to get the positive change results they desire in their lives and making them stick. Laura, thank you so much for being here again. So excited.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure, and thank you for the lovely intro, Angela. That's great.
Of course. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So what does intentional goal setting mean to you?
So I pondered this one. I think the big piece here is the intentional for me. So there are goals that we can set without really giving much consideration to whether they matter to us. They might be the new shiny ball that everyone's talking about, whether it's all over social media or something that our friends are doing and we want to jump on the bandwagon. And for me, the intention makes it deeper than just a random goal that we've picked out, and that there is something calling us forward to get to that goal. There's something deeper within us. And I often find that really when we're intentional with our goal setting, and that's what we're trying to do, that there's a deeper hook within us. There's a stronger, almost that muscle to make that goal a reality is deeper than just kind of random setting. So actually I think the intentional part is really important because it calls out all of that. I am strongly going after this with deep meaning and it really matters to me. So
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, I think you hit the nail right on the head. I know that, for a long time, I wasn't intentional about setting goals, especially with the new year. I just was kind of like, lackadaisical about, okay, maybe this year I'll want a better career or, try and up my salary or whatever it was. But it was just kind of that thought. It wasn't really sitting down and focusing on it and then, kind of taking the steps and doing the things that I needed to. So yeah, I mean, being intentional really puts more focus on it. And really, like you said, we have a stronger hook into wanting to pursue and achieve that goal. So that's awesome. I love that. So what are your thoughts on the importance of intentional goal setting specifically for the new year? I mean, I know that, going into this next couple of months, people kind of get wrapped up in New Year's resolutions, and a lot of the time, a majority of it doesn't stick for more than a couple weeks. So what are your thoughts on the importance of being intentional with our goal setting, especially right now?
So I think for me, you already mentioned it really, in that if we're okay with things being the same as they are, if we're going to look back from 3, 6, 9, 12 months down the line and go, I'm happy, this is great, this is going great. And there are people in that position, which is amazing. But if there is any part of people that is thinking, I want more, like you were saying, this is the year. This is the year I want to do that. What could we do if I did this? What could I feel like in the summer if I look after my nutrition and health being goals? Could I really look forward to being on the beach in my bikini instead of going, I don't like it, for example. Or like you said, pursuing your career and thinking to yourself, actually, do I want to be in this job in a year's time? Because although we might be ready to pursue that, actually, it's amazing to break that down and say, okay, if I'm not quite there, what are the gaps in my CV? How can I spend 3 months filling those gaps? How can I go out? How can I make myself get there? And what I see a lot happening is that we really wish that hope will carry us through.
Yes.
And then we lose our confidence. And I did the same. I kept thinking, I just don't keep hitting these goals. Like, maybe it's just not for me. It's just not for me. Like, I'm just not that person. And I didn't realize how much it was knocking my confidence in other areas of my life. Things like, going for that promotion or saying, actually, I'm working those extra hours. I'd really like to be paid for them. Those kind of conversations, I wasn't having them. And I think that's what makes the difference for me. It comes back to that statement that if we keep doing what we've always done, we'll always get what we always got.
Right.
But if we want something different, then we have to bring some change, some mix up to it. And I think that is where intentional goal setting is one of those foundational ingredients for saying, okay, come on, let's have a go and be different. So I think it's really a really, really important step.
Yeah, no, I love that. So many amazing little tidbits of nuggets of wisdom there that you gave us. That's so awesome. Thank you for that. So what methods or strategies have you found to be successful for you in, setting your goals as well as pursuing and achieving them?
So I do mine differently depending on what I'm trying to achieve and the scale of what I'm trying to achieve. So I thought I might give you just a couple of examples and explain how I break this down. So for us, one of our long-term goals has been to pay off our mortgage. And so for me, I have mapped out what that looks like across the years and used planners and more of an Excel spreadsheet to look at what is possible. If we overpay by this much, where are we going to be with our mortgage if we overpay by that much? So that's more detailed planning. And I also use visualization with that, particularly as it's got closer. I can, and maybe it's just because I've practiced it actually, but I can literally tangibly feel and get so excited to think about what that day will be like and how I will feel that security and freedom and how amazing that lightness that I expect to feel when I make that final payment and I say to my husband, we're done. And so that visualization has I guess it's grown really, because I used it when it was far off and it felt a really untangible goal. It was like, this is so far off. What is even the point? I could go out and buy some really nice clothes right now instead of putting all this money in here. But being able to kind of develop that visualization and let it grow in me, that comes forward. So I do love an Excel spreadsheet for working out that kind of thing, particularly with finances. In terms of my fitness, for example, that I've been working on in smaller chunks because it's not, it's something I'm kind of still learning about with my running. How do I grow this just bit by bit? And I don't actually know yet exactly how far I want to go. I'm just enjoying the journey. So for me, I don't plan so far in advance. And I use an app. So I use the Couch to 5K, which is quite famous in the UK, to help get me there. And I use that alongside my own strategy. So I would put out my running kit the night before as a cue. So I set myself up to have cues to get myself out of bed. And I would remind myself about why I'm doing it. So the long-term goals is actually to go through menopause really well. That is my long-term health goal. I want to be healthy for years and years and years to come. Short-term, I want to be able to keep up with my kids. We touched on this last time about my running. And so it also is a stress relief for me. So calling out all of those things, and it happened on Sunday morning when it was raining here, Anjali, and I did not want to get out of bed. I thought, no, come on, there's your cue, there's your kit. This is why you're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, the app takes the headspace out of it. So I think when you're doing something new, if you have an app that can give you, particularly if you really like that structure and instructions, he tells me, the Nike Run head coach tells me, run for a minute, like at 7 out of 10 pace. Drop down. So I don't have to think about it, and it's fun. So for me, that's the other thing. And I think that's part of habits, isn't it? That you have your cue, you have your habit, and also it's got to be rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we start to fall off. We're like, what's the point of all this effort? If the goal feels too far away and we're not getting any short-term reward, we're like, well, it'd be nice to do. I'm just going to stay here on the couch or lying in bed. It's a lot easier. And then I was thinking, in terms of my content, for example, for what I do with Time to Thrive, and things like I've been using it, I used it as an example actually in my group recently. So I have a Get Results Monthly Action Planner, and it breaks down, and there's a few kind of key questions on it to get you calling back to, why am I doing this? What is my goal? Where am I at with my milestones? What is the next one for me? And then over these next 4 to 5 weeks, there's a slot for each week of the month, and you can say, okay, this is the action I'm going to take this month, this week, and they're all going to build up. And also a little prompt to get people thinking about, well, when. So you say you're going to do it that week, but when, which again calls back to that intention, doesn't it? That we've got to schedule it in. We've got to make a time for this. Otherwise life gets in the way. And maybe who do I need to say? Like for me with my running, I need to say to my husband, I'm planning on going on Wednesday evening. How's that going to fit with our kids and our life? All good for Wednesday evening? All good. But if I don't, and I throw that into the mix on Wednesday evening, he's like, what? I did not. How did you do this? And then I don't end up going out.
Right.
So those are some of the tips and tricks I guess I use to intentionally set the goals, but also to make them into a reality.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, you have made some great points, especially about making sure that you have a reward, and then also the planning of everything. I think that, one of the biggest reasons why people set these, New Year's resolutions, goals, and they only last for a few weeks is because, we're such a society of instant gratification that if we don't have that, reward right away, we just kind of give up. We're like, oh, this isn't working, I'm not doing this type of thing. So you make such an invaluable point about, making sure that you have that reward, and also that kind of, realization that you have to be realistic with your goal and, what you're going to see. I know when I work with people, I always make sure that they set some sort of, reward or celebration for having accomplished something, even if it's small. Because again, the more steps forward that you can make, before you know it, you're running, and you're just racing towards that goal. So that's amazing that you point that out. And also the whole planning of it, set yourself up for success. Think about, it's really important that you kind of know yourself. Like if Laura, if it's raining, that you're going to have a hard time getting out of bed and running. So set yourself up for success, kind of be thinking ahead and removing those obstacles for yourself. I think that's great. That's amazing. Thank you for that. That was great.
My pleasure.
So what other things do you think contribute to a person being successful with setting and achieving their goals? It's not just about kind of putting that goal out there and then planning, but there's other things, because we're all going to run into obstacles. So what other things do you think contribute to helping a person be successful?
So we partly touched on this, the hook, and I use a technique called the 5 whys when I'm coaching people to think about why at a simple level. Why does that matter to you? Why do you want to do that? And then beyond that, why did that first why matter to you? And you keep going. And sometimes people are like, I'm stuck at 3. Why am I stuck at 3? And I'm like, that's fine, but you need to go away churn it over in your brain, come back, we're going to find those other two. And the really deep stuff that really drives you forward is at number 5.
Yeah.
And so then you can use each of those 5 to do things like pop the reminders up or put a picture of one of those on your phone, something that triggers your reminder about your 5 whys, your really deep hook, because it's got to really matter. And that kind of, for me, feeds into the reward that too often we find ourselves, I think, going after something we didn't really want it in the first place.
Right.
And then even if we get it, it feels unsatisfying. So actually, we need to make sure we're going after the things that really matter to us, deep down in our core. What matters to us? Park the comparisonitis and the what everyone else is doing,
right,
and go down our lane, run our race, and work out what's right for us. I think the other thing as well that came to mind when I was pondering this was about accountability. And I've learned in recent years the power of social media groups and communities, and whether that is doing things like the content we take in massively impacts how well we keep going. So the people that are subscribed to this are far more likely to follow through on their intentional goals because they've got Oversight Global dripping into their lives, really positive change messages, and that's what they've got popping into their brain. And I think that subconscious bit, we sometimes forget just how important what we listen to, what we read, what we scroll through is in kind of triggering us and prompting us. And then within a community, I think, again, so that was one of the biggest things, one of my early self-development was around the finances. And I suddenly saw the power of just a little accountability post that Catherine Morgan, who ran the group, she'd pop in and say, so what is it this week, ladies? What is the one thing you are going to do to either work on your personal finances or your business finances? And I put something in there and then I realized the power. I was like, oh, because I've put this out, it's not just peer pressure, because there's nothing wrong with, no one's going to chase me down if I don't. But there's something about putting it out there and my own personal integrity in saying, I've told this bunch of people that's what I'm going to do. And I found, like, recently with the Couch to 5K, lots of people have said to me, oh, I started, Laura, but yeah, like 3 weeks in, week 5 also, by the way, if anyone does it, there's a bit of a crucial week, but push through, people, push through. But some of that is because I said to my group, I'm doing this. Watch me. I will show you how I do this, and I'm gonna nail the end of this course. These are the things that I'm gonna do. And so that's an extra prompt about being accountable.
Yeah.
Obviously you don't have to do it in a group, but even if you just tell a friend to say, just check in with me, giving them permission to say, how are you going with your finances? How are you going with your money? How are you doing with your diet? Or whatever else it is. Have you checked out those 5 job descriptions so you know where your gap is? Because otherwise, I think if we don't give people permission,
right,
they're going to chase us. So if we just say, I trust you, it would be so helpful if you can just ask me once a month, or when I see you, just ask me.
Yeah, no, those are great. I really love how you touched on, it's important that we know ourselves and do things for us. A lot of the times when the new year comes along, we see people kind of jumping on these bandwagons of joining the latest workout program or whatever it might be. But people not really taking the time to really think about, is this something that is actually for me? Is this a good fit for me? Does this align with how I do things? So yeah, great point. And it really takes us knowing who we are to create those goals and create the planning in order for us to be successful with them. And then, yeah, accountability is huge. I know that I've, frequently worked with an accountability partner. It makes all the difference. Like you were saying, it's not like the person's going to go chase you down or anything, but it's just kind of having that integrity and just knowing that, yes, I, told this people, or I put it out there that I said that I would do this. For my own integrity, I really need to move forward with that. So yeah, great points that you made, and how other things kind of contribute to a person being successful. Thank you so much, Laura. This is so great.
Good. Oh, I'm loving it. You can tell I'm buzzing. I love chatting about this stuff.
So, for our viewers at home, I know that you've been here before, but can you just kind of remind them of what it is that you do and how they can connect and follow you?
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. So, I am Laura. You can find me on Instagram, on Time to Thrive with Laura Kirtley, or on Facebook. And I am all about helping people take that positive change idea, that little niggle that's been there, or it might be a big wish, into reality, and one that actually sticks. Like you were saying, Anjali, so often we have the great idea, we know where we want to go, but we can't get that into reality. And it's the things that are relatively simple, but we don't get taught this stuff. No one teaches us it. So that's what you need coaching for, and the tips and tricks, things like you provide through your services. And that's what I specialize in, is helping people turn that positive change idea into a reality in their lives, and showing them that it doesn't have to make them more busy. It can be really easy. So yeah, come and follow me for more tips. That would be amazing. And as I said, I've got the Get Results monthly action planner, and people can download that and get going with the actions.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll go ahead and have those links to connect and follow Laura in the video description below. And yes, I highly recommend that you guys download her monthly planner. It will help you as you are pursuing your goals for the new year. So thank you so much for all of this insight and sharing your knowledge and experience. Do you have any final thoughts or key takeaways for people watching this episode?
Do you know what I'd love to say is just that it's possible. Just that it's possible. I think we're all a bit browbeaten after the crazy couple of years that we've had. And I just want to say to people that are watching, there is hope. And through people like Anjali and I, we've got the strategy, we've got the tools, we can get you there. It absolutely is possible.
Love that. Thank you so much, Laura, for everything today. I'm sure people are getting so much out of it, because I know I am.
Oh, thank you. I can't wait to watch the rest of the series. It's going to be great.
Great. And thank you, audience, for being here and for watching. Don't forget to check out our other episodes of this series. Remember to like, comment, and share, and to subscribe below if you haven't already, to be alerted of our future episodes as well as videos on our channel. Thanks again for being here, and we will see you next time. Wow, such amazing knowledge, insight, and so many wonderful gems and nuggets, right? I hope you took away some great tips and words of wisdom from this episode. Now, that bonus video that I mentioned about how to implement all this, you can find it in the video description below. Just click on the link. So excited for you as you create intention, clarity, and success for the new year.